Good evening. Good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are so super excited to invite each and every one of you guys to this amazing call today. I just wanted to take the time to introduce myself. My name is Shanita Crafter, and I am honored and privileged to be on this call with you tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. I just wanted to introduce you all to talk a little bit about stem cell technology, guys. Let me tell you, you are definitely in for a treat. We have this amazing, phenomenal woman who I can't wait for her to just get on this line tonight. You are definitely in for a treat. Her name is Miss Verdita Monk, and she is out of Atlanta, Georgia, and we are so excited. She is a seven-figure income earner in this home-based business, guys. We are so excited that we have her here today so that we can just have an awesome time. So sit back, relax, and get comfortable as we take on this new journey to just sitting back and just watching people just change their lives, So with I'm just going to get myself out the way. I'm just going to get myself out the way and introduce to you the amazing, phenomenal woman, Miss Verdita Monk. Take it away.
Wow, Shanita, I tell you what, was such an awesome introduction. I really appreciate that. But more importantly, I appreciate you, catching the vision that we have for what we're doing to change people's lives. And Shanita said all these wonderful things about me, and I've only known her for a short time, but I know one thing about her. She has big dreams and goals. I mean, she's literally writing a book. I mean, she's got, coaching different people and health and wellness. I mean, I don't know what to say, but I'm really inspired by your tenacity and your vision, Shanita. So thank you for putting the call together and inviting these people and catching the vision once again. So you can stop your video and we're going to get started. And then we're going to ask everybody else on the call to please mute yourself and not share your video at this time, because this call is recorded. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you why I'm here. Now, my husband and I were contacted by a friend of ours a few months ago, back in November. And he told us that he had something very important that he needed to share with us. We had no idea what it was, but we were about to go out of town. And he met my husband on the expressway and gave him some little bitty patches like the one you're going to hear about tonight. Very, very thin, little bitty tiny patch. Excuse me. And then he met him. We caught the plane, went on to Milwaukee. And when we got to Milwaukee, here's the first thing we noticed. My mother-in-law, who's 92 years old, was rubbing her knee really profusely. Like, she seemed like she was in so much pain. I felt sorry for her. And that was very unusual because she's normally a healthy person, never complains about anything. We had just gotten off a call like this, just literally gotten off a call like this the night before. And we heard about people with all kinds of things going on in their body, including major pain. And we just said, well, I don't know what else to do. Let's just put this patch on her. So we put the patch on her and she went to bed. And the next morning she woke up and she said all the pain was gone. She was about to, call her doctor, literally, because she just couldn't deal with the pain. And so that pain went away. We were there for 6 days, and every day she put that patch on. And do you know, the pain never came back? That was amazing. That was number one. But that same day, my husband decided, me and him both decided, okay, we don't have any illnesses. We're not taking medication, but let's just see what it does. We just put it on because we were told to put it on. So we put the patch on. And that night, I noticed that I slept so deeply. I can't ever in my whole life remember sleeping like that. I mean, it was very deep. And then I also noticed that it was very quiet in the room. And the reason it was quiet in the room is because my husband normally slept and snored like a bear, to the extent that he was waking up coughing and choking. And I had already started asking him, literally the last few months, I started having him go upstairs to sleep. Not every night, but I would, quite a bit, because I just couldn't sleep. I said, you have to go upstairs. That night, November the 11th, he did not snore at all and has not snored since. So those are the kinds of things that happen to us. And when we saw what happened to my mother-in-law, to us, and all the other people that we had heard on a call, we said, there is no way that we can get off this call and not tell some other people about this, because it is amazing what this patch is doing. So the reason you've been invited to this call, so that you can hear for yourself what this patch is doing for people, because it may bless you and bless some other people in your family. So I'm going to get out of the way, and I'm going to pull up the slide that that I was talking about. Let me see. I hope this is the right one. Okay. And so let me tell you the golden question of this evening. Have you been patched yet? Have you been patched with this tiny little patch? If not, you're going to definitely, hear some things that's going to make you want to get patched by the time you get off this call, because this patch is going to elevate you. It's going to reactivate the stem cells in your body and regenerate you. But now, why? Why would you be interested in this X39 stem cell patch that I'm talking about? Well, guess what? The older we get and the faster we age, the slower we heal. It takes longer to heal yourself. This is why you're seeing, older people who may be walking with a cane. Whatever caused them to have that cane, it's going to take them a long time to get rid of it, if ever, because they have very little stem cells in their body. Because you see, by the time we get to be age 30, half of our stem cells are dormant. And then by the time we get to be age 60, almost all of them are gone. And this is why we really, in a lot of situations, you hear older people, that's why they start getting dementia, Alzheimer's. That's why they get Alzheimer's. I already said dementia, Alzheimer's, but that's why they start getting things like arthritis, diabetes. But sometimes it's out of control. Now, why do people, let me back up a minute. Why do people get something called stem cell injections? I know you've heard of those. And if you haven't, a stem cell injection is where normally they may take an embryo from a baby or some other person, or even sometimes out of their own body, of another part of their body, inject it into a part of the body that is needing help. And people do that because they are so desperate, because they're in such chronic or bad condition, they will do anything. They will pay any amount of money. You see, stem cell injections range from 25,000. I mean, it may be 5,000 or 10,000, but you got to keep going back every few months, because that one injection is not enough. So number one, it's expensive. Number two, it may not work. Many times people don't even get the results out of the injection that they anticipated. The insurance does not cover it, and there's no guarantee. So there's many reasons why people get these injections, but it's not really a good option. And that's why the stem cell activation patch is a good option. Why? Because it's less than it's about the cost of a cup of coffee, so everybody can afford it. Now, let me tell you about the patch. First of all, it does have these nanocrystals, organic nanocrystals, right in the middle. They're formulated in a lab. And what they have, what happens when you put the patch on your body has heat and light. The body reflects off of these crystals. The crystals reflect off the light of your body, and in turn, it elevates the copper peptides in your body. A specific copper peptide called GHK is the copper peptide that we're referring to, because that is the holy grail of anti-aging. Okay, so when that happens, this part right here I'm about to tell you is something that miraculous happens, something phenomenal happens when those two things. It's called photobiomodulation, and that's when the stem cells of your own body are reactivated. See, that part right there was something that scientists said no one could ever do. No one could ever come up with a way where your own stem cells were reactivated. Just like I said, people do injections, and that's because they don't know about this. And so let me tell you a little bit more about this. This patch was created about 3 years ago. They went over 80 case studies just to develop this patch and to perfect it. But so the company that makes these patches are available is a company called LifeWave. It's a 19-year-old company. It was doing about 20 million a year, as you can see, for the last for the first 17 years. And back in 2021, when the X39 patch was created, the company jumped up to 280 million, and now it's over like 400 million a year. expected to be a billion-dollar company within the next year. And it spread so fast all over the world simply because of its effectiveness. Now, let me introduce you to the genius behind all of this, Mr. David Schmidt. Mr. Schmidt is an inventor and he is the CEO of this company. But let me tell you how he got started. He was the one who he was contacted by the federal government, the Department of Defense. They had a new submarine that came out, and he was asked and commissioned to create something for the Navy SEALs to keep them energized for 36 hours in a row. And so, the way I'm saying, looking at it like this, if he was contacted by the U.S. government, he must have been very special. But what happened was, it took him 3 years to develop that patch, and ever since then, he's been creating patches that help us with different things going on in our body. But it wasn't until 3 years ago when he created this patch. This is the masterpiece that it, dwarfs all those other patches that he created. This patch does everything that you can imagine. This man is a two-time recipient of the Advanced Technology Award of the International Hall of Fame. And this patch is patented for the next 17 years. It's a total of 20 years. But now it's about 3 years old, so about 17 more years. LifeWave is the exclusive company that can market this product. So we're at the right place at the right time, and it creates a great opportunity for us from a business standpoint. Now, let me explain how you wear the patch. You're going to put the patch on for 12 hours on and 12 hours off. If you put it on and when you wake up in the morning, like 8 o'clock in the morning when you brush your teeth, you can take it off 12 hours later at 8 in the evening. And then you just throw the patch away. Then you put a new patch on at 8 o'clock the next morning and just repeat it. It's simple. I like that because I've never been the one. I hate taking pills. It takes me forever to swallow a vitamin or anything. So that's why when I realized all I had to do was put something on, like a little sticker, I was excited about that. And then you want to drink plenty of water because you need to hydrate yourself. You need to stay hydrated because your body may start detoxing, and you want to make sure that you're flushing those toxins out of your body. This diagram right here just represents the two locations that they used in those studies that I told you about because they needed to be consistent where they put the patch. But you can literally put this patch anywhere in the body. But we do have several locations we can recommend, but these are the two they use in the study. But that's it's very, very simple process. All right, now what may happen to your body when your stem cells are reactivated? But let me say this before I excuse me, please. What may happen to you is this. You may experience rapid pain relief, like my mother-in-law. We had no idea it was going to happen. We just put it on. You may experience reduced inflammation. And, inflammation is a culprit of a lot of illnesses and ailments in our body. Supports wound healing. When especially people who are diabetic, it takes them a long time and it's dangerous when they get some type of wound or a cut. Energy and vitality. I mean, that part right there is the part that I really appreciate because of being such a busy person. And I'm older. I mean, I'm in my 60s, so therefore, your energy is not as elevated as it would have been as you're a little bit younger. That's one of the first things I started noticing as I started getting older. And then mental clarity. Oh my God, just being able to focus and just get things done is unparalleled. Enhances sports performance. We've attracted a lot of athletes, especially pro athletes. Matter of fact, we just attracted a pro pitcher for the Atlanta Braves yesterday because of the benefits of this patch. Faster recovery from exercise. Listen, everybody, I'm pretty sure when they exercise, they experience soreness, but sometimes it's not, especially people who are in extreme programs, they need to be able to recover quicker, and then it improves skin appearance. So once again, this patch does not cure, mitigate, or we're not trying to say it's healing anything. What we're saying is that there are crystals in the patch. There's a frequency that, remember, this was made in a lab. There's a frequency that is the perfect frequency that makes the crystals in this patch elevate the copper peptides. It's non-transdermal, so it doesn't go into your skin at all. It's almost like this. think about the sun. When you go out into the sun, guess what? Do you ever hear them say that it can increase the vitamin D in your body? You need to get some more sun. Well, there's no vitamin D floating around in the air, but for some reason our vitamin D is elevated. Well, that's the same thing that happens here. There is no copper peptides floating around in the air either. There's no copper peptides in this patch, but there are crystals. You put it on your body, elevate your copper peptide. That's called photobiomodulation. And that is that is just phenomenal what has happened there. Now you're looking at a chart that reflects, it's called a topography map. And this reflects what happened when a 77-year-old woman placed the patch on the back of her neck. In the first session, they looked at her brain. This is her brain. And the brain had a lot of inflammation in it. And the orange section represents the inflammation. And session 2, which was 3 weeks later, all the inflammation is gone. Look at it. No inflammation. 3 weeks later, look how the light blue section represents the stem cell activity. It is tremendously increased since they started 6 weeks ago. So you can see what may be happening to our brains when we put the patch on. Let me get to this next page because this will explain what's happening to our brains, okay? For example, I'm gonna start with by saying this. There were 80 case studies. These are results. These are long-term results that were documented, okay? The first thing they noticed in the first few days, 4,000 genes began to reset. The reason that is significant is because, how in the world can you reset that many genes when I heard a physician say that, people talk about red wine and how it's healthy for you because it has an ingredient in it called resveratrol. Well, resveratrol they're saying that you can only that resveratrol only resets 2 genes at a time. We're talking about 4,000 genes. Something is bound to happen after 4,000 genes begin to reset. Within 6 weeks, their brain becomes balanced. Remember the previous screen where the lady had all the inflammation in her brain? Why is that significant? People whose brains are unbalanced experience stuff like PTSD, anxiety, and depression. That right there is very prevalent nowadays, especially after COVID. Within 3 months, the collagen begins to increase. The wrinkles start going away. Hair starts growing back. People with their bald, their hair starts coming back. People that have gray hair, their hair is turning black in the middle. My husband used to have gray hair, and now the whole center, it's funny, but the whole center part of his head is black now. Increases the structural integrity of your skeletal and your muscular system. That is important because as we get older, our bones get denser and less dense, and a lot of people experience osteoporosis. So we don't want to experience that, y'all. We can do something about that. This is why, as I told you, as we get older, these things start happening, but you can avoid it. Within 6 months, the heart reverses in age. Now, let me elaborate a little bit on this because it does say that in this study, 14 out of 15 people lowered their vascular age by an average of 8 years after 6 months of using the patch. That means that for every 6 months that we wear this patch, our heart is going to reverse by 8 years. This is based on a recent study. Now, let me tell you what happened with my friend Jeffrey. This right here really impresses me. Jeffrey was diabetic and had been for years. And he started wearing the patch right around Thanksgiving. And 3 days after wearing the patch, he no longer had to take insulin shots. Now, he was taking 4 shots per day, 3 during the daytime when he was eating and 1 at night. But he noticed after he started decreasing the shots that were required when he got ready to eat. By the 3rd day, he didn't even have to take an insulin shot. And since November, he said it may have been 2 or 3 times that he had to actually give himself a shot. That is major. Here's the big part that they're talking about the heart. 3 years ago, diabetics, very well, they're known for having strokes, right? Well, 3 years ago, he had a stroke and he was paralyzed on his whole left side. They would not let him leave the hospital without a pacemaker. Okay, he had to learn everything. He had to learn how to eat, how to walk, how to chew, everything. But he said that they gave him his pacemaker. And at that point, he had to go to the cardiologist every 6 weeks. Well, after wearing the patch, when he went back to the cardiologist 6 weeks later, was in January, he said, what are you doing? Because I don't know what's going on, but your heart is operating at 100%. It's no longer relying on the pacemaker and the defibrillator. And Jeffrey could not believe this, but the only thing he had done differently was the stem cell patch, right? That's what we mean when we say that the heart reverses in age. This has changed Jeffrey's life. Not only is he not having the symptoms of diabetes, but he's also not relying on a pacemaker. So this is not anti-aging, you guys, according to David Schmidt. This is age reversing. So I hope we're getting your attention now. Let me let you know that all these things I'm telling you about, they're right on this site called startx39.com. Because we don't have time tonight, we want to take up too much of your time to go over everything, but you can find all those 80 case studies. This is where we send physicians who are joining our team to this site because it's very thorough. You'll see testimonial videos, all kind of stuff, okay? So startx39.com, please screenshot it or write it down, okay? Here's just a visual of, excuse me, of some of the things that we've noticed, we've discovered on people. I told you about how wound healing was increased. This lady right here, look at the wound that she had on her face. And in 21 days, can you just imagine? I mean, I've had little bitty tiny scars that took way longer than 21 days to go away. But the patch, look what it did for her. Here's another lady that took in about a year, her face is lifted, all the eyes are lifted, the skin is smoothing out. This gentleman, look how thicker his hair has gotten in a matter of like 3 months. Here's another gentleman. It's just amazing. I will tell you that I used to have wrinkles on my neck. I told you I'm in my 60s. I'm 67 years old. I don't mind saying. And I used to have wrinkles, on my neck. They're gone. I mean, no matter which way I turn my neck, the wrinkles are there. So I'm really pleased with that. Here's a gentleman that had, I know you've heard of vitiligo, where the, discoloration in your skin. And this is based on 3 months of using a patch. Look how much his skin has, 90 days, 3 months. It's just like all around his eyes, it's almost gone. So do you see what we mean? We don't know what this patch is going to do. This is why we're so excited about sharing this with all of you. So what I'm going to do, this is my favorite part of all. We do have some people on the call that are hopefully going to be able to share their testimonies. The first person I'm going to call on is our host, Miss Shanita. Can you come on back on, unmute yourself and share your video and tell your testimony?
Hello. Hi. So this patch, I'm telling you, this patch, I'm gonna share with you a quick story. I was out with Miss Bernadette Stroh. I went to go meet her for brunch one day, and she told me, she was like, hold on, I gotta put on my patch before she left the house. And so I already had the patch in the back of my head. I was like, I need to ask her about that. So we go out to brunch, and she's telling me the story about this patch. And I'm like, so tell me more about it. So she told me a little bit more. And I was like, well, let me see. She's like, I'll give you some to try. And when I tell you, I couldn't believe how small it was. Like, look, it's the size of a quarter. I was looking for this big, bulky patch because I was thinking, where am I going to put this? How I'm going to hide it up under my clothes? And it changed my life. We were in the store, and I have spinal stenosis, and when I tell you, it's been very difficult for me to walk and stand. And it feels like some days it feels like knives are going literally up and down my legs. And so it's extremely painful, and it's hard for me to walk long distance or to stand in like a long line, like any kind of grocery line. And we were in the store, and I was practically in tears. And she was like, you have to try this patch. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. Well, fast forward the next day, I woke up early in the morning, I put the patch on, and I had to drive to New York, and it's about an hour away from my house. So I decided to put the patch on, and I know some of the effects that I normally have for it. So I'm like, if I get out this car in an hour and I'm not stiff and I'm not in pain, then I know something's working. So I went to go get my hair done. I sat for 2 hours, got back in my car, drove back to Connecticut, which is like an hour away. And I hadn't even noticed it. I'm like, wait a minute. I just got up And then I ran into, like, not literally ran, but I walked into the salon. I got a mani-pedi. I was on a self-care little tour that day. And I got back in my car and I couldn't believe it. I said, I got up without being in like a lot of pain. And so I called Miss Bernadette. I said, Miss Bernadette, what's in this patch? She's like, tell me what's going on. And I told her, I was like, I don't know what this is, but I have to stay consistent with this. And so I've been using this patch and I have noticed so many changes, not just with the pain, but I don't leave my house without it because the pain, it just is unbearable sometimes. But not only that, but I have these circles like within my eyes, and I noticed that they're starting to lighten up, and I've had them for years. So I'm like, I noticed that my skin was glowing. I noticed that I'm not really hungry. I literally have to remind myself to eat. And trust me, like I love chocolate chip cookies and ice cream, and I really haven't been craving those things. So I'm like, this patch is really doing some some things like and so I also noticed, excuse me, that when I go to sleep, I'm in a deep sleep. I wake up, like this morning, I felt so refreshed, just ready to take on the world. And so I'm not gonna hold up a lot of time, but those are some of the big effects that I have seen in my personal testimony. And once again, like we don't cure or mitigate any diseases, but this is my own testimony. And so I'm telling you, if you know someone who can utilize this patch, if you know people in pain, if you know people who are experiencing some of the things that we have been speaking about tonight, give them this patch, give them the information, put it in front of them, because you never know how this patch is going to make them feel. And so I'm super excited about this, and thank you so much for allowing me to share my testimony today.
Well, thank you so much for sharing, Shanita, as well. I'm so glad. I didn't even really know all those things that had happened to you, but that is great to know. And I'm sure that people on the call understand why you're so passionate about it. I mean, when you have something life-changing like that, you can't keep it to yourself. And she seems so happy about it. And that's the same way I felt. I mean, I didn't even have those major things, but it was unusual what happened to my husband and my mother-in-law. So I said, we've got to share this. So thank you for partnering with us and sharing and inviting these people to the call so they can hear about it as well. And so you can stop your video now. And we have another powerful testimony that we're going to bring on, Miss Brenda Stanley. And Miss Brenda Stanley, can you unmute yourself and share your video? She'll tell you what she does. Can you share your video, Brenda?
Yes, I'm trying to get.
Yeah, she'll tell you all about her, what she does, because she is expert on this. I would say she has a lot of credibility because of what she does. So let's hear your testimony, Brenda.
Okay. For some reason I'm not getting my. Can you hear me?
I can hear you very clearly.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I see you. Yeah,
okay,
there you go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. I'm Brenda, and I started using the patch in November. My leg was so painful. My sister sent me some patches in the mail, and so I put one on my leg. And I'm telling you, the next day I was like, "What happened?" I called her. I was like, "What is that?" So fast forward, I am a registered nurse. I'm a critical care nurse, and my specialty is, cardiology and transplant and so forth. In February of 2023, I developed a saddle pulmonary embolism, and I was in the ICU. I was at the point of death, and the doctors were like, you got to call somebody, and you need to go ahead and make some decisions because you can probably arrest tonight. Your heart is beating so fast, and the embolism is so huge. So my sister came, and I told her, I said, bring me a patch. So she did. I said, give it to me. I'll put it on myself. And I did. I put a patch on, and when I got out of the hospital, I did join, and I got patches, and I wore the patches every other day. I had a patch on. So when I went back to see my cardiologist in June 22nd, he was so amazed. He did an echo, and he said, the clot is completely gone. And I believe in God, and I know that God works through people and works through things. So, I don't see where science negates God, and, it doesn't take away anything. And I'm so thankful that I was introduced to the patch, because I was looking at, they told me, they said I was going to be short of breath. My heart was disfigured. all of these things, my ejection fraction was down. You know, it just didn't look good. He said, you also have pulmonary hypertension, high blood pressure in your lungs because of the clots. And June 22nd, he said, there are no clots. He said, your heart is back to normal. I said, and what about the pulmonary hypertension? He said, that's gone too. And I knew that it was because, you know, of my faith in God, definitely. And of course, I know that the patch had worked wonders for me because I used it consistently. And so I know that it works. And I'm over here with a friend of mine right now. I came to put one on her knee. So that's why we were listening to this presentation. So,
well, thank you so much for sharing, Brenda. And, you know, hopefully people hear that obviously you listened to the research. You researched it
yeah.
yourself because
Yeah.
you weren't about to do something that was going to interfere with your life,
Right.
but it helped your life. And that
Yes.
shows you that's why I wanted you to share your testimony, because your credibility, you know, in the health industry, being an RN in the cardiology, you know what based on what you read about this patch, you were willing to put everything, your whole
Right.
life put your life in the hands of this patch. So I thank you
Right.
so for sure. I'm so glad you're smiling and healthy, because it could have
Oh,
been
yeah.
a whole different story.
Oh,
It could have
yeah.
been a whole different turnout. Thank you so much, Brenda.
Okay. Thank you.
So I think everybody now has an idea of what we're talking about, why we're so excited. You can stop your video too, Brenda. Stop your video. Let me see if I can stop it. Yeah, she probably, okay. I'm on my end, I can see you see things that you all can't see. So what I saw was Brenda's face. But anyway, so thanks again, Brenda. I know everybody on this call is impressed with the information they heard. When we say that this is life-changing, we mean life-changing. And so I know you're also wondering, okay, you got me. How can I get some of these patches? And I know some other people that need these patches, right? Because keep in mind, you just heard a little bit. That was just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot more that we just didn't have a time to share with you tonight. That's why I want you to go to that startx39.com. But that's what Brenda did, because all these physicians reviews are on there. Y'all, we got the real deal in our hands. We literally have the real deal. This is it. This is it. Okay. Now, let me tell you why I say this is it, because most people think, oh, this is going to cost a lot of money. David Schmidt says that these patches literally should cost you about $400 per month. Now, let me tell you, a lot of physicians, they are selling these patches in their office for $10 a patch. So that would be $300 for a 30-day supply, right? But we get those for $99 for a 30-day supply. But here's how you can get it. You can either be a customer of Shanita or whoever invited you to this call, and you can pay $150. Or, excuse me, you can get the package yourself at what we call distributor pricing. If you just want to try a 30-day supply, you can get it for $125. But in this scenario, you'd be paying $25 for a starter kit. However, if you get a silver package or above, they waive the $25 for the starter kit. So now you're only paying $99 a sleeve. In other words, $300 for 3 sleeves, or $99, might as well say $100 per sleeve. If you're married, Brenda's trying to get back on. If you're married, you and your spouse could have one, and then you can have another one that you can share with other people. Like Brenda said, she was at somebody's house right now. She's about to share some patches with her, because that way, you know, you can spread the word that way. Let them try the patches. But if you want to help a lot of people, like I did, and me and my husband did, we wrote a list of all the people that we knew, not people that we really knew we didn't really necessarily know all the things that were going on in people's body, but we knew that everybody could use this patch. Because remember, we didn't think it was anything wrong with us either, but my husband stopped snoring. Okay. The gold pack, if I'm going to share some information with you in a moment, and it's going to allow you to see that that you can earn money when you share it with other people, because you're going to share it. I promise you, you're going to see some things happening. You cannot keep it a secret, but you may as well get paid for it. The company's going to pay you very well just to share with other people and help save lives. So the gold pack is the package you want to get if you want to have enough of these sleeves to pass out to other people. Also, this is the position you want if you want to get promoted in the company. You want to get that gold position. But for some reason, if you're not able to financially, you can always upgrade because there's no penalty. Look at this. The silver pack, you get 3 sleeves for $300. The gold pack, you get 5.5 for $500. You just pay the difference when you come back and say, I want to upgrade to the gold. But just get where you fit in, okay? But the platinum and the diamond packages allow you to get the patches for $84 for a 30-day supply. So I'm always trying to save money. I'm an interior designer, I have my own business, and I always buy things at the best cost possible. So that's why my husband and I got the diamond pack. Not only was it enough for us to pass it out to 25 couples as well as 25 individuals, we gave each individual 5 of these patches a piece, or you can give 3 or 5. We gave 5, but those couples, we gave them 10 because it was 2 in the family. And so by doing that, and then we needed 2 ourselves, it's 2 in our household, 2 ourselves for the next 90 days. So when we added all those packages up, it came to 18 sleeves. That's why we decided on the diamond package. But you just need to, you may get this form from Shanita, and it's going to just need your username for your website. You get a free website, your email address, phone number, date of birth, just those things, and how you're going to pay for it. But let me tell you one more thing about the diamond package and why my husband and I decided to get this package. Some people are going to, like, there are different, remember I told you about doctors who are part of this. There are different stores, health food stores that are there, people that own different things like that, cardiologists, for all kinds of individuals, or just people that want to share a lot, or just have some on hand when people want to buy them. They will buy this package, and if they buy the package from you, you would make $200, except if you are a diamond yourself, that's when you make $500. So that's one of the reasons we decided to get the diamond pack, so that we would make $500, because just yesterday a lady got a diamond pack, and if I did not have the diamond pack myself, I would not make $500. And so these numbers right here represent what the company pays you when these people buy these packages. Okay. Now, I know that the most important thing in our lives is our family. And I just want to say that there is no way, for example, if my uncle had Parkinson's, that based on what I heard tonight and what I heard earlier when I first heard about this, there's no way I was going to say, oh, he'll just have to continue to deal with his Parkinson's. What I knew all about this patch, I had to share it with him, right? So I gave him a few just so that he could try them. And that's what you want to do. You want to share this with your family and friends. And then time freedom is important to all of us. I'm sure that all of us with our busy schedules, there's not a lot of free time during the middle of the day. What has happened to me and my husband is that we started this in November, but because it's spreading like wildfire, people are telling other people, and guess what? It just spreads to thousands of people. And just since November, we have generated enough income on a monthly basis that if we wanted to stop our own business, my husband is a consultant, I'm an interior designer. If we wanted to just stop doing those businesses right now, it would not affect us at all, because the money has been, we now have thousands of people on our team. And so that's the same thing that's going to happen to you. I promise you, it's going to spread, because it's just, remember I shared with you guys all over 75 countries. That's because the patch is so powerful. All you have to do is open up your mouth and share with your friends. Invite them to a call that we would do for you just like this. Better health is important, and less debt. Who does not want to experience everything that's on this page? Now, let me just ask you to put your business hat on now, and let me put your service hat on, because you still will not make any money here if you're not willing to help other people. Remember, Shanita said she likes helping people. So now watch this. The stem cell industry is about to explode, you guys, to 300 billion. Right now, it's about 200 million. It's about to explode to 300 billion. But LifeWave is it's a big wealth transfer about to take place. LifeWave is at the forefront of all of this because we have the solution. Everybody else knows about the injections and other little things they have, but nobody has the patch except for us. Remember, we're the exclusive marketer of this patch. So definitely you want to understand the importance of what's happening right now. So this may, that's why I say put your business hat on. Now, what's going to happen? Let's say this is you and you decide you want to get started and buy one of those packages from Shanita. And then or let's just say this is Shanita. I'm going to say this is Shanita. And Shanita invited you to this call and you decided you want to get a package under her. You're going to fall on Shanita's left side or her right side. We call it left team and right team. And then there may be another person that Shanita brings on board. Guess where they have to go? They have to fall under you or on your left, or if you're on the right. And what's going to happen is these people that fall under, they're going to continue to fall under you. There may be somebody above Shanita, like Miss Bernadette Strode, who she told you about, introduce her to the patch. If Bernadette introduces someone, they have to fall under you, whether it's on your left side or your right side. And this is a beautiful design compensation plan. So you benefit from hundreds and thousands of people, and many of them you will not even know. And what can happen is you are able to earn up to $25,000 per week just in this part of the compensation alone. Not $25,000 a month, but $25,000 per week. All right. Now, the other thing that's excited about this compensation plan, you want to share this with the sharpest people you know, because guess what? Shanita, would you agree, is very, very sharp. I mean, she is very serious and very professional about this. But guess what? When you introduce people and they start earning money in a binary, you get 25% of what they earn. So let's just say Shanita earned $1,000 this week and you introduce Shanita. You make $250 when she makes $1,000. The company doesn't take it away from her $1,000. The company gives you $250 on top of what she earned. But Shanita, she may go out and share this with 50 people. Those 50 people, let's say they also earn $1,000 in a week. Well, what's 50 times 1,000? $50,000. They fall on your second level. So that's what, $12,500? No, it's not. 50,000 times 20. That's $10,000. Sorry. That's $10,000 that you would earn on people you didn't even know. That's just 20 people. I promise you, there are people on this call right now making over $1,000 per week in the binary. And that's because all that volume is falling under them. The third level, you're getting 20% on the people that they introduce. There could be thousands of people down here on your third level. Trust me, I've been in this industry for a very long time, and we have been very fortunate that we were coachable and that we were very professional and focused. If you do those three things, you will make a lot of money, because this is it. And when I say this is it, this is the one. This is the one that's going to create the biggest wealth transfer that I have ever experienced in my life. I know the momentum is here. Now, we pass these patches out to people in these beautiful envelopes. You just put the patches in there and give them to them, and we can help you get some of those. But there's a website that we use called build331.com. This is where you're going to learn all about the compensation plan, how to build your business. Very, very simple. You don't have to think of anything. Everything is done for you. And then you're going to connect on that same website to these different sources right here. For example, the startx39.com website is a link to that on there. You just take your camera on your phone, put your phone up to it and click, just like you're at a restaurant, and click on a menu. We have a Facebook page right here where the testimonials, like if you want to search on Alzheimer's, you just go to this website, search the word Alzheimer's, and you'll find several testimonies that are on YouTube that will help you and help people that you know understand how powerful this is, because they're going to believe the testimony of somebody else who had the same situation. And then the website, everything is right here on connect with us on this website. But then with that being the case, tomorrow night, I will let you know that we have a call just like this, and you can write this link down. You see down here, this Zoom link and code 39. My husband and I will be presenting on this call tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. feel free to join that call and welcome some other people so they can hear exactly what you heard. 8 o'clock tomorrow. And then, you know, we just have a whole system in place. We do training on Saturday, or you can call in on this number or just do the Zooms. So that's a different Zoom that you came on tonight. But with that being the case, you guys, thank you so much for joining tonight. We look forward to working with you because I know everybody on this call are going to be thinking of their aunts, their uncles, their sisters, their mothers, their fathers, themselves, how they can benefit from the patch. And we're going to help you do that. Okay. So thank you so much for your time. And we will, you know, definitely be seeing you in the very near future. Thank you so much. And we'll see you soon. This call has been recorded and you can get a copy of it from Shanita if she invited you. Thank you.